Make sure you stick around to the end of the video to find out what's really going on. Oh yeah. Hey! Well, so a lot of controversy going on, and a friend of mine asked me to look into this and give my perspective. This was on the Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller. So if you're monitoring his Facebook page, people are pretty much calling this guy a patriot and a hero. There's actually a few people that were dumb enough to try and troll him. It didn't work out well for him. So I know a few things about Marine officers. Marines in general are trained from day one to instantaneous obedience to orders. So when a Marine, let alone a Marine officer, goes against the chain of command or questions the chain of command, which he's actually trained to do, he's trained to question decisions. It's not a good day. It's not a good day for the Marine. They're normally relieved on the spot for the reasons that his command has said that they're relieving him. And it's not conducive to what they would call good order and discipline. So as of about 20 hours ago, he resigned verbally on Facebook. As of about an hour ago, he resigned on paper to the Secretary of the Navy, which is within his legal right. Right now, he is doing everything the right way. He's done nothing wrong whatsoever, and the DOD knows it. He's absolutely right. They were going to try and pigeonhole him and make him hide for about 3 years and do staff work this, and he would never hold another command position ever. And yeah, that's what they were going to try and do. But that's not what happened. So, not to get in too much detail, people asked me to look into this and give my perspective. So, believe it or not, his full bio is still on the AITC webpage, Advanced Infantry Training Center. This is a place where they teach Marines how to be platoon sergeants, how to be advanced infantrymen, how to do things that, how to operate independently is what I will say. It's an advanced level of leadership for people that, you know, do a lot of pew-pew. His bio is actually pretty impressive, and he has only been in a few command positions, but more importantly, what I always look at when I start to think about a Marine and his character is I start to look at that, and that's called his rack. Now, no, it's not what you think it is, but for those of you that know, you know. And I looked at the very first few things on his rack. So, just a quick shot here. I'm seeing a Bronze Star, 3 Meritorious Service Medals, a Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal, 3 of them, an Army Accommodation with Valor, ×2. So this guy's on the battlefield, and, you know, obviously the Combat Action Ribbon. So this guy's been on the battlefield and done what he's supposed to be doing. As a commander, he understands his decisions have ramifications and that he is responsible. Let me read this to you. Commonly understood obligation to disobey any illegal order. Okay, so he hasn't even done that, but this sets things up for him to question decisions. The military officer belongs to a profession upon whose members are conferred great responsibility, a code of ethics, and an oath of office. This grants him moral autonomy to obligate him to disobey an order he deems immoral. Okay, so the stakes are getting higher. Then you start to talk about something called obedience versus virtue. And there's normally 3 things that play out on the decision-making process for a Marine officer, or an officer in general who's about to question his leadership. You know, he has to be reminded that he's an officer, he belongs to a profession that is conferred great responsibility, and that his obligation is not confined to the effects purely military against those related to policy. In today's world, there's a complex nature of contemporary operations that no longer permits clear distinction between the two. In deciding how to dissent, the military officer must understand that this dilemma demands either acceptance of responsibility or wholehearted disobedience. So what he's basically doing is he's asking for his leadership at the strategic level, the Joint Chiefs of Staff basically, to accept responsibility for the utter failure in their decision to support the administration in the way that they got out of Afghanistan. So the situation gets complex, and it gets complex because he refers to the Commandant of the Marine Corps' letter that was put out on 18 August. And I don't know if you could see this, but pretty much this is just a blob. If you could see the highlighted stuff, that's all the stuff that was actually true, made sense, and was to the point. The rest of it was drivel. So I'm going to read this to you, just the highlighted stuff. And this is the Commandant of the Marine Corps talking to his Marines. Was it worth it? They're talking about Afghanistan. We both believe, him and the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, without question, that your service was meaningful, powerful, and important. You fought to prevent terror from returning to our shores. You fought for the Marine to your left and the Marine to your right. You never let them down. You never, ever gave up. Was it worth it? Yes. Does it still hurt? Yes. Over the coming days and weeks, we encourage you to connect with your fellow Marines and their families, particularly those who served overseas. This is the beginning of the blame game. This Marine officer did everything he was supposed to do. He's given up everything. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that PTSD had a lot to do with it. It's not his PTSD. He is pissed off that the government of the United States, and specifically the leadership at the strategic level, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Secretary of the Navy, the Secretary of the Army, yeah, those guys, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, they all had to say yes. None of them put their rank on the line. None of them put their careers, which they could easily walk away making a couple $1,000,000 a year. No problem in retirement. They could easily just retire. No problem. Give notice, walk away, and never be hurt. Never be financially damaged in any way, shape, or form. Never lose their career. They could all have just done the right thing. We all know that this was a debacle. Decisions at the strategic level need to be questioned over and over and over until they're right. And these people that have decided to make these decisions, there's a problem. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that problem is. The people that have been fighting this war for 17 to 20 years have been doing that. They have a different mindset. They have the warrior's mindset. The people that have been making these decisions at the strategic level haven't been. They are Obamanites. They have been political officers from the beginning 20 years ago. They're not warriors. They might have been warriors in the past, and I will not discount anything that's on their chest. I will not discount their a serviceman's 4 years of service, honorable service, or someone with 20 or 30 years. They're all the same. They all chewed the same dirt. They all went through the same pain. They're all equal. But there is a difference between the men and women who have fought this war because they've been at war their entire time in service, and the people that are way above them who have not, who just visited, who just show up and take helicopter tours. There's a difference. Not because they're up high, because they're in CEO positions, but because they didn't have to pull trigger on anybody. They didn't have to watch these people die I'm not talking about signing letters. I'm talking about watching them die. And that's the real difference between this lieutenant colonel, the battalion commander level right now. Those men and women fought this war for 17 years. The people above them did not. And that's the difference. I very hesitantly, because I'm a little brainwashed being a Marine, I very hesitantly support this lieutenant colonel's decision. But I respect it more than anything else. And I think we haven't heard the last from this guy, because you know what? I think he's going to break the system. I don't think there's any way for them to make him disappear. And I think he knows it. He's not stupid. So, if you like what I'm saying, you know where the little button down there is. Do that. And until the next time, which will be very soon, there's some controversial subjects coming up. Stay safe and have a great day.